lovelies. How are you? I look broken. That is okay. That is okay. I just wanted to go live as we should. About this time, everyone should be getting their alerts that say, Woman in the Mirror is live. Woman in the Mirror is live. So hopefully you are signing on. My goal is to simply just go over um, our last journal entry. I did get some people asking, like, what is going on? You said it was like a horrible week for you, and absolutely it has been. I can't even like fake it. Business wise, it's been a lot of policy pieces that I'm so happy I keep paperwork and trails because not only am I covered by the blood that will keep everything. I also am covered by everything that I write. And so I'm truly supported by that. My families that I have supported me. All the children that I watch, their families have supported me. So it's been really good. My parents, my friends, my close knit of circle of friends have been really supportive. And journaling, let me tell you, journaling has been amazing. Like sometimes I have no idea what I wanted to say. I felt so overwhelmed. Um, because it felt like it was just one thing after another after another. But one thing that came to mind was the song Reckless Love of God. And I don't know if you ever heard it, but it's amazing. And there's a part of the song that said that there's no lie that will come up that he cannot cast down that's coming after me. And that has been my like what last 48 or a little more. It has felt like lies been put on me, but that is okay. There is nothing that there's no lie that will come up that he cannot cast down. And I want to encourage people out there that are watching, like, it is okay to feel defeated sometimes, but at the end of the day, we have to make that conscious decision to be victorious even when we don't see the victory in the foresight. And so that is my encouragement. It kind of ties into our book where we are right now. The idea of being broken, that was like one of my last pieces of the video. I remember saying, we have to be broken in order to be to understand who the true fixer is in our life. And that was like amazing. And boy, after saying those words, legit broken, like broken. Family wise, just going through things that didn't even need to. Misunderstandings gone wrong, gone wrong again. It's been crazy. But let me tell you, there's no lie that will come up that he cannot cast down. People are relentlessly trying to get after things that you have. People don't like to see people happy. People don't like to see people doing what they have to do. People don't like to see holy, anointed people about their business. So they are relentless. They try their very hardest to make sure that they get you down to their level. But trust and believe, as relentless as they are, there is a reckless love of God that is right behind you. There is a banner that is lifted when people come against you. And that is what the one of the words that my mom had reminded me. Like, don't worry. Don't worry. The enemy will come. People will try to come against you. People will try to make you feel that you're less than. I mean, whether it's self esteem, whether it's lies put on you, whatever it is okay, because at the end of the day, as you continue to do what you have to do, stay focused and steadfast, stay on track. Hence my journaling. Stay focused in your mind. Write down those pieces. Do what you have to do. You continue to do it, because as you do it, there is a standard that is put up, and that standard that is put up is literally what covers you. When they people say, like, you need to lower your standards, if you are dating or something like that. No, people don't lower their standards because they have a high standard of what they want. And that is when you think you can come against a child of God, trust and believe the Lord is going to raise a standard and be like, no, sorry, barking up the wrong tree. Might look like it, but it's not going to work out for you. And so, amazing. So that segues into our journal entry piece. So the last one was what things have been broken in your life, or rather, what things have been cut or in your life in order to see the end result. So the end result was kind of saying like a diamond, like a diamond has to go through so much to be this perfect piece at the end. A lot of pressure, a lot of cutting, a lot of, like they say, a diamond in the rough. You have to get it to be what it is. And so that was the last journal entry. So if you've done your last journal entry, it would be great if people were on so that they can like start writing, oh, I did my journal entry. Some people reached out to me in email. They told me that they did it, and they shared some testimony pieces, which was amazing to see the Lord working. They aren't at their finished product, but they still have the faith that this is just a season, not a sentence, as Pastor Kim does say, and it's definitely true. Um, so my challenge will come later, but I just want to look a little bit into chapter 5 and 6. My goal is to do 5 and 6 this week. Um, Sunday, I'm going to do 7 and 8. And then next Wednesday, we're going to do 9 and 10. And then that's it. Then the book is over. And then we're out of June. So we really were able to keep to our piece. Hi, I didn't really get into anything yet. Don't you worry. I just been talking, to be honest, giving a little bit of the testimony of things that are going on. Um, I say testimony, but it's still moving. I mean, work has been very, very hard. And I'll repeat it a little bit because someone signed on. Hey, Cuzzo. It's been crazy, lies have been put on me simply because of the insecurity of another person, and it kind of has messed up my whole or tried to mess up like my whole establishment. I had people out today like investigating what goes on in my learning center. Like, it was really crazy, and it's still like up in the air right now, but I'm happy the visits are done. But man, it hurt me to the core. And I was saying it on here that there's a song, I'm sure you heard it, Reckless Love of God. And there's a part of the song that says that there's no lie that will come up that the Lord cannot cast down coming after me. And that just like struck me. Like, it doesn't matter whatever comes your way. Like, at the end of the day, there will be a striking down, because the Lord will not let any lie prevail over you. And I just keep holding on to that. Like, right now, I'm just thinking of what the visits were like when they came and all of that. And I'm just like, oh my God. But even if I don't feel victorious, I still have the victory. Like, I have to continue to tell that to myself, because there's no way that they will win. There's just no way. The weapons will form, but that does not mean that they're going to prosper. And that's cool by me. I'm just going to sit back, relax, breathe, because anxiety is a real thing and it's super real to me. And I'm just trying my hardest to like not go in that headspace. And then I kind of said like journaling helped, because I kind of didn't want to even talk. I was just like, oh, woosah, like, just let me write down some stuff. Um, so yeah, in this video, oh, hold on, just here listening to you and trying to settle the baby. Aw. Yes, amen. So yeah, I know you're settling the baby. I know it's around that time, and I am just fortunate that Roman went to sleep at a little earlier time. Last video, I was like holding him. So it's fine if you like have to put the phone down and do whatever, because once I hit end, you can just watch it, it'll upload, so you can just watch it then. So no worries at all. I'm gonna go into chapter 5 and 6, just reading those nuggets in there. So even if you're not up to that, that's fine. And I kind of broke down saying that chapter 5 and 6, I'm gonna read through those nuggets today and give a challenge, a journal challenge. Chapter 7 and 8 will be on the upload video for Sunday. And then chapter 9 and 10 will be next Wednesday live. We'll just conclude the book with questions and thoughts like that. So that way we can be done. It was really for a June kind of thing. I wanted to be done by the end of June, so that way we can be free to move on to something else that's going on in the summer. And I'm gonna move to just like one time a week and make it like a themed one time a week kind of journal entry kind of thing. versus following the book, which might be hard for some. But I really hope, I'll say all of that in the last video, that I hope the book spoke to someone in some way, and we'll go through that. But that's kind of my thought, to do 5 and 6 tonight, 7 and 8 on Sunday, and then next Wednesday 9 and 10. And by then I'll definitely have the victory in this situation. Lord have mercy. Um, so yeah, that's my thought there. And so while you're, with the baby and stuff, I'm just gonna talk. Um, Chapter 5, the title of it was "When God Sets You Free, You Are Truly Free Indeed." And I think it's funny how some words set in your head, hearing "when God sets you free." Sometimes people say "when God makes you free," because when you are truly delivered, you do not have to go back. And it's like when something is set, like a time or something, it can completely be off track again by something. And so I'd like to say "made free." Like, I am not going to be set off track, kind of thought. So it's just a play on words, but definitely this chapter was amazing. When God sets you free, you are truly free indeed. And this was the beginning of Kim Jones Pothier's journey of healing. Um, and she talks a lot about her divorce and how she said, like, it hurt her body and soul. Like, I can't imagine it. And I know that the divorce wasn't just the piece; it was all the things that happened in it. So I really, really I give her a lot of props for, like, being so transparent about that. Um, of the list of ladies that are on, well, not on right now, but on the list serve of the email, a few of them are divorced, and some can speak to that feeling. Um, and it could be a really hard thing, just reading this. So I hope it speaks to someone, as they're moving forward. One nugget of chapter 5 is on page 63. It said, he said to me, and he is her father. She had like a breakdown. She was crying and stuff. And she said that her dad said, "Kimberly, I cannot take your pain away. You will have to give it to me." Um, and that is like, Lord, literally, Jesus, this is so hard for me right now. You can't, and he just won't just take it. You have to literally say, "Here, I surrender." That form of, I can't do it by myself, but you can do it for me, makes all of the difference. So that was a huge one. And that doesn't have to be with divorce or rejection, that's anything. So that's a big deal. She talks about forgiveness in here. So, broken relationships, the idea of forgiving your spouse, but also forgiving yourself, to know, like, hey, even if I was a broken and he was a broken person, and together we were just a hot mess, at the end of the day, I'm not at fault for that, because I have now moved forward. I see where I was, and I see that that's not where I am. And I love how she says, just because they're not in your past doesn't mean anything. It just means they weren't set up to be in your future. And if they are in your future for whatever reason, they're set up to be in your future for a different reason, or in a different relationship. And that is okay. So I really love that. I'm flipping through the pages. Page 66 was another good one. Two of them. One says, "God broke my spirit to save my soul." Lord have mercy. Like, broke my spirit. He had to break me down, literally down to the point where that's the only way that he can heal you. And it's kind of like, if you break something, um, I was gonna say it in Spanish, a figura, or something like, a little, anything that's ceramic or something, you break that, it can be in like trillions of hundreds of pieces, and then to like kind of put it together, it's possible, but sometimes it's just easier if you break the whole thing, so that way you can get it all back together, versus just trying to stick a little piece here and a little piece there and a little piece there. Sometimes you just need the whole thing to be broken, and just get a whole new one, versus putting together these little pieces that can, now when you go back, you're putting it back on a part that wasn't broken, but that it's just so much when you can just know that being broken is the way to be completely healed. And I thought that was like really profound. She also goes on to say, also in a vision, God showed me that I had, oh, God showed me that I had the power to ruin everyone and everything in my life. That is that is very true. Not only that though, that same power that we don't realize that we have in us, that's the Holy Spirit that lives in us. Okay? No doubt about it. But do you tap into it? That's the same power that raised Jesus from the dead. Do we tap into it? Do we know that power lives inside of us? Like, can we be bold? That's what the word reminds us, to be bold. Why? Because we have this power within us. Like the lady with the issue of blood touched the hedge of the hem of his garment. What was released? How did the Jesus know that someone touched him? He said, I felt the power come out of me. Literally, the power that is in those times when we read in the word, that is the same. I'd like to believe it as so. That is the same power that we have. And so what she's saying is that we have the power to ruin our own lives, and we have the power on the flip side to make our lives everything that we want it to be. And so feel encouraged to know, stand bold to know that you have the power to do that. You have the power to pray on a situation and make it different. It might not be easy, but the power is there. And so knowing that you have the power is a different even walk, as opposed to feeling defeated. You don't have to know that, you don't have to be in the victory at the moment, but you know it's coming. So you walk in the victorious moment, even though you might not see the victory at the end. Another nugget was on page 69, and this is coming to the end of that chapter. It says, it is easy to lose focus. Yes, of course. Is it easy to lose focus? Sorry. Yes, it is, of course. To stay on track, you cannot allow the cares of life to overwhelm you. The more I get into God's word, I understand that I cannot work enough, pray enough, or preach hard enough to earn His grace, and overwhelming peace revitalizes my spirit. I realize that Jesus went to the cross for my sins, and I am living in Him. So that's a huge piece. Just mostly the biggest part for me was the idea of her saying, is it easy to lose focus? Absolutely. Life happens. It doesn't even have to be negative things. It doesn't have to be the enemy coming after you. Like, you can just lose focus in the day. You lose the time. You sitting down, feeding the baby. Next thing you know, oh my God, why are you here? Why is dinner not on? Where did the day go? It can happen. Um, but when we realize it, you just get back on track. And I love that she makes it seem so simple when it seems so hard when we're overwhelmed. And hello, I know about it. Um, so that was chapter 5. I know it seems like we're just brushing through, but no, you read it and it makes sense to you, reread it and all that. The next chapter was called Wholeness Births Peace and Success in God. This was the beginning of her healing. She said, Christians are like glow sticks. They must be broken in order to shine. And I mean, you've known a glow stick, like the clear ones, you can get them at the dollar store. In order for them to work, you have to break them in order for them to actually shine and light through. And so a lot of people recently have been using that kind of symbolism to let people know being broken is okay, and it's a place of being vulnerable, and that is okay too. But not everybody feels comfortable being vulnerable. But comfortability doesn't show, is not the place where growth happens, because it doesn't feel comfortable to grow. If it feels comfortable for you right now wherever you are, then nothing else is changing. So I thought that was a good nugget, so to speak. And so that whole chapter 6 just talks about that. Um, she speaks a little bit more about her own encounters, um, and talks about toxic soul ties, which I thought alone is its own big nugget. Who you tied to, who are your friends, are there people that speak up to you? Is it a toxic relationship, friendship? So I thought that was something that when you have the time, like really look into that chapter, because it's a big deal to know that the people around you can drain you more than you can drain yourself with your own worries. So that was amazing. Um, One thing she wrote, she says, in my prayer time, first I ask God to help me break all the unhealthy soul ties. Then I ask Him to replace them with godly people that would influence me to become the woman He has purposed me to be. Strategically, God brought to me the right people, and I started to form those godly relationships and healthy soul ties. He started changing my thinking, and I became filled with joy unspeakable. Amen. Just reading that is like, wow. She had to strategically, she says, strategically, God brought in the right people. There is purpose at the end of the day. Relationships end or whatever the case, but there's purpose with all of them, you know? So I thought that was absolutely a great piece. Um, Looking through really quick, just small little nuggets. It says, our mess becomes our message and our pain becomes our purpose. And so that ties into what our journal entry is. So I want us to really hone into what has been in the last week, in the last month, that you know in your mind, the most painful experience. Like it can be for her divorce. It could be um, losing a child or losing a parent, losing a friendship or relationship, having to say who you are over and over again at your job and, living up to, stereotypes and all that stuff. Like, whatever it is, whatever that pain is, that pain produces then a purpose. So, what is your purpose? So that's gonna be my journal entry challenge. We talked about being broken. We talked about being cut in order to be that diamond in at the end. So now that we know all the cut part, what is the actual purpose we have? So I want us to hone into write about that pain. And it doesn't have to be painful now. The whole point is that whatever was painful could then become your purpose. And you might not even realize it. It might be to some talking to other women about things that have happened. Start a tea time at your house or whatever the case. So, journal entry. What can you say has been a mess that became a message? Has been pain that has become your purpose. At the end of the day, it could be your testimony. Write it down. Sometimes it's good to say, wow, look at the way I was. I remember feeling like horrible. I remember whatever the case, you know? So that's our journal entry challenge. Chapter 5 and 6, journal entry challenge is tapping into what was that mess that became your message. And see where it takes you in your writing. Hopefully, it leads you to open rivers of writing. Um, and I will be logging on again next Wednesday, but Sunday will be an upload. I had trouble with the upload this Sunday, so sorry for that if you were following. But I will stay on schedule so that we can finish this and God has for us in this journaling process. Encouraged. Um, so hopefully you understand the journal challenge. We will be visiting chapter 7 and 8 next. Okay, so journal entry, message, pain, purpose. Write that stuff down, and then we will come back on. Well, next time we see each other, we'll be talking about that journal entry and talking about chapter 7 and 8. Pray all is well with everyone. We stayed under 25 minutes. We went live. Thank you, cuz, for being on. Good night to the baby. Besos. Grace and peace to everyone. Good night. You too. Stay blessed.